Bisa kita mulai sekarang, Pak Ram, Pak Sam, Dr. Sam, apakah bisa dimulai sekarang?
Oke, insyaallah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Dr. Samsudin. Good morning, student. First, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Samsudin for taking time to share with our students today. Student, today Dr. Samsudin will share his knowledge about organizational behavior. But before we start the class, I would like to remind the students about the rules. Please be active during the class. Open your camera and please ask question in Q&A session, or you can ask the question while Dr. Samsudin deliver his material. To Dr. Samsudin, best of luck and time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
I hope everybody in the happy condition, okay, and ready for our today's session class. It is about the organizational behavior. Okay. First of all, I would like to remind you about our previous chapters. Okay. It is about maybe you understand already about the structure of organization, about the element of organization, okay, and also the importance of communication, okay, as part of the organization activities, okay, because as we know that communication is very important in order to make the thing happen, okay, and to make the thing happen as our planning, okay. So there is a element of coordination between the unit and between the department, okay, in this communication, in this department, in this coordination activity. So what they are going to share? They are going to share about the information. Okay, without information, we cannot. There is no link between the department and between the unit. So communication is very important, and we have discussed the communication aspect in the previous class, in the last week, last Monday. Okay, so today we will go more on the organization. I mean the behavior. So what the element of behavior involved in organization? So we have in organization, we have the manager, we have the staff, we have the subordinate, we have a multi-level of management, we have a structure, we have like a line structure, and we have a horizontal structure. Okay, the formula of success of this organization, of course, can be affected by the behavior, of the component, by the behavior of manager, behavior of subordinate, behavior of all the individual staff in organization. Okay, so behavior is something important because the key success of this organization is the productivity. Okay, the element, productivity element. Okay, and the effectiveness and the degree of efficiency. Okay, so now we go straight to the slide. Okay, Mr. Hanafi, can see just now you have the slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. All right. This is the slide. Okay. Can see. So this is what behavior about. So behavior mean the attitude, of the members of organization. Okay. The attitude of manager may be different. The attitude of the staff different. The attitude of operational staff, the attitude of strategic staff, the attitude of middle managers. Okay, so next. So first we are trying to understand the meaning of behavior. Okay, so behavior is like OB. Okay, OB is a broad field of business study that examine how people behave. So behave mean attitude, how the people behave. Okay, so who are the people? The people is the manager. The people is the top manager, middle manager, supervisors level, and also the staff level. So this is the behavior of organization, because the behavior not only refer to the behavior of workers, not only refer to the behavior of manager, but also the broad definition of people inside this organization, this structure. Okay, and especially when we talk about behavior from the top management and how this top management behave in order to convince, in order to motivate their subordinate, in order to motivate the employees. So there is a character, there is a behavior of the top management, of the manager. Okay, so this is the important because the togetherness, kerja bersama-sama, kerja bersama saya is the very important concept in order to come to the similar sharing of the vision, sharing of the direction. Okay, so all this come from the behavior of managers. So how this, the action of behavior, the behavior practiced by the management, the manager sometimes affect the motivation, affect the effort of the employees to follow to the job order. Okay, OB actually involve many disciplines. Okay, can involve the management theory. So we have many management theory about the administrative science. We know also there is a theory of management theory about the traditional management theory, and we have administrative management theory. We have the most popular one is the theory about the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And also it also involves psychology, okay, of the theory in deciding, in understanding the behavior of the person. Okay, the key component is like leadership. So leadership is very important. Okay, it's also about the behavior of leaders, for example, and the culture, how the leader going to what are the culture implementing in our organization. Is it hardworking culture? Is it quality culture? Or is it like just a relaxed culture? Or how is the culture practiced by our organization? So this element also important about the behavior of the organization. Okay, the structure of the organization also affect the behavior. Okay, and also the communication element in the organization also affect the behavior. So behavior represent by leadership, represent by the culture, represent by the culture, and also the communication. All these broad views of behavior in organization. Okay, next. Okay, why we have to study behavior? Because you want to understand the people. You want to know the character of people. So OB is very important. Next, we want also to understand about the human behavior. You want to know about the issues related to the behavior. You want to know about the turnover. It is also behavior. The absenteeism of the workers. The absenteeism rate of the employees. Kadar ponteng kerja. Productivity pekerja. Dan prestasi, performance, human performance. All this is about the issue in organization. So the organization behavior study about this issue. Okay, and also organization behavior also covered motivation, also covered group dynamic. Okay, so we have a group, small group, big group, dynamic group, and also discover learning attitude, acceptance of new knowledge, acceptance of new theory, acceptance of technology. So all this we call it learning attitude. perception, the conflict, okay, conflict in the workplace, the work design, and also the work stress. All this is under organizational behavior. Okay, next, Cinta. Okay, so this is the why behavior important. Why we have to study organizational behavior? Because we want to know the motivation. We want to know the status of motivation. We want to increase the motivation among the workers. Okay, and also we want to know the how the labor relation and industrial relation in our organization. Is it there is a union in our organization? How strong the union? Okay, all this is under organizational behavior. We also want to know how to control the behavior, to predict the human behavior from this knowledge. Okay, we also can effectively manage our human resources. Okay, that's why if we know the organizational behavior element and theories of behavior, then easy for us to understand how to implement the good practice of human resources, how to implement the good theory of motivation, how to manage our behavior, managerial behavior, how to manage employee behavior, okay, how to manage the union, okay, labor relation. Right? Because without managing a good relationship with this union, persatuan-persatuan pekerja, so of course very difficult to us to monitor and to control our employees. Okay, next, Cinta. Oh, I still remember the Indonesia song. The title is Cinta. Cinta, apakah erti cinta? Of course, you know the song? Familiar? Candice? You know, huh? I hope you be familiar. This is the Indonesian song. Okay, organization behavior management is the study the importance of a relationship between organization and creating a good working environment. Okay, when we understand the organization behavior theory and knowledge, we can provide very good element in organization. Okay, so there's a organizational behavior management. So we have to understand OB because you want to know OB management. You want to know, you want to provide a good environment, persekitaran kerja yang baik, persekitaran kerja yang menyeronokkan pekerja. That's a good working environment. Okay, next. So OB knowledge can help us in managing and motivating people, Okay, so when we have this knowledge, okay, it is easy for us to know the level of motivation. If the level of motivation is very low, we try to make it high. Okay, how to motivate people? Have to have a listen to the voice, listen to the problem, okay, discussion, then we can motivate them. Okay, we listen to about the need, about the complaint or whatever. So this will be help us in motivating their employees. Okay. Okay. Automatically, by increasing the motivation, we can increase the satisfaction, the job satisfaction. So when they have the good, higher job satisfaction level, of course, they will work in very happy situation. And of course, we can achieve our vision. We can achieve our organizational goal. Okay. Next, Cinta. Next, okay, yes. So by knowing this OB theory also, we can maintain the good relationship with this group of employees. So in organizations, in the big organization, we have call it the union. Sometimes we have Kesatuan Sekerja. In Malaysia, we call it Kesatuan Sekerja. Okay. It is about industrial or labor relation. Okay, industrial or labor. So OB management help in understanding the root cause of the problem, because the kesatuan sekerja will deal with the problem with the workers. So when we have this OB management, this can be a guidance for us in understanding the problem, solving the problem, try to define what is the effect of action, control the negative consequences from our action. So all of this is something very good and guide the management in dealing with the industrial and labor relation. Okay. As a manager, we have to aware, we have to be positive. We try to avoid negative effect. Try to avoid negative effect in order to maintain the harmonized working condition, harmonized working condition in the peace and harmony. Okay. All right. Next, Cinta. Okay. Right. This is about how we have to deal with human resources. By having the knowledge of OB, we know the motivation, we know the perception, then easy for us to deal with human resources department. Understanding the human. Okay. OB help managers to manage the people behavior. Likewise, it enables managers to inspire and motivate employees. As a result, the manager is able to analyze and understand the nature and behavior. So similar to the previous point, so OB is about understanding the people, understanding the individual, and then at the same time, we are going to do what? We are going to deal with this human resource management. Okay, we know people, we try to make these people happy, keep their motivation. We can practice very good management procedure, for example, in person and job matching, person and position matching. So all this can be achieved and can be guide. This OB knowledge can guide us in dealing with the human resource department. Okay, next. Okay. What are the four elements for this OB? Okay. The four elements in OB is the people. The people is the people those work in the company, work in this organization. We have managers, we have subordinate, we have staff, we have supervisors. Okay. Next, the structure. The structure is the element or the structure of organization. Okay. So this is also part of the organizational element, OB element. Next, technology. Okay, every day in our daily life, in our company, we have to deal with technology. We use technology, computer technology, we use data processing technology, we use hard technology, we use soft technology. We have a machine, for example, in manufacturing company, we have machine, we have any type of machine. So that is technology. Technology is one of the component in the organizational behavior. And next, we also have external environment. External environment of our company. Maybe we have a government. We have a link with government. We have a link with government agencies. With custom department, with police department, with the law department, with the state administration, with the country, with the ministry. So all this considered as external environment. So external environment also one of the element in organizational behavior. Okay, next. Cinta. KYS people. People can be understanding people, using the right platform. Okay, what is the action and recognize people, develop interactive situation, understanding the attitude. Okay, and then the structure. Okay, we have a structure, we have a relationship, we have what we call linkage, link between we have a line structure, we have horizontal structure, we have a group base, and also we have individual. So all this considered as a structure that is part of the element in organizational behavior. Okay, next. Next. Yes, technology. Technology is the process of transforming the material from the raw material to the finished product. So technology also part of this organizational behavior. Okay, technology allows people to do more work in more efficient and more shorter time. Okay, with 1 hour, we can produce 1,000 pieces of product. Without machine, maybe we can only produce 100 unit of product because we do manually. Okay, and then external environment. So what is external environment? Can be the economic situation, can be the political situation, the social culture, the technology, okay, or the number of resources surrounding in our organization. Okay, can be department, can be ministry, can be political parties, can be a government department, can be a custom police department. All this considered as a external environment of the company. They are also important. Okay, so OB teach us how to deal with this external environment. Okay, next. Okay, model of organizational behavior. Okay, we have 5 model of organizational behavior. So this is about the behavior and the characters. Okay, so this is referred to the characters of the managers. Okay, we have autocratic behavior or autocratic model. We have custodial model. We have supportive model. We have collegial model, and also we have a system model. Okay, so this is the model that effect in organizational behavior. Next. Okay, what is the meaning of autocratic model? So autocratic model, we can remember the style of leaders during the autocratic, during Nazis, during last time in German, we have the leader named Nazi. So this is very autocratic. He's very autocratic. That means they are more stressed on the power and authority. So autocratic model means all the decision, all the characters must follow the rule, must follow the authority. So the manager have their own the authority to give the job order to somebody. Okay, and they have all decision. They are practicing very strong. They have a power, just using their own power and in their action. Okay, and in this model, we not allow the exchanging of idea. It's not allowed. Exchanging of idea is not allowed, and the innovation also not welcome, because we have to really strict to the point, strict to the rule. We have to follow the rule. Okay, and lower levels carry little responsibility for the work performed. All must depend on the boss. All must depend on the manager. Okay, next, custodial model. Custodial model focus on providing economic security for employees through wages and other benefits. So this custodial model more focused on the welfare of the workers, welfare of the workers. Okay. In some countries, many professional companies offer health benefit, housing loan, okay, housing subsidies, study leave. All this about the welfare of of the workers. So all this is, we call it the custodial model. Okay, salary packaging, incentive, bonus, okay, and etc. Okay, next. Supportive model. Unlike two earlier approaches, the supportive model is aimed at inspiring leaders. The custodial model doesn't rely on the control and authority. So the supportive model will combine all this custodial and the autocratic model in one time, one shot. Okay, by combining these two, is more better in terms of motivating the employees. Okay, in terms of motivating the employees. So we apply to both the custodial and autocratic model one time. Okay, and there is a good relationship between manager and employee. There is a good relationship between manager and employee. Okay, so how? So what is the outcome? What is the result? What is the value? The staff working in the good motivation and motivation and have a positive work environment. Have a positive work. Next slide. Collegial model is more on the teamwork. More all the result, all the job must base focus on the teamwork. So this one will happen what will happen later on? There is element of creating a positive among the group members. More energized in the workplace. Manager can be viewed as a coach for the team. Okay, this is more team-based, team coaching. Okay, collegial model. And next, system model. System model are more on the final and the organization model. Final one. So we have the 5 model presenting here. System model means all the model covered by the system. Okay, so we apply all this the 5 in one shot. So the system model seeks to balance the goal of individual and the goal of organization. The majority of the employees seeks good remuneration. So it's combining. So we have a collegial, more focused on the, we have, just now we talk about the, more on the employees benefit. Okay, more on the, we have to balance this employee benefit to this autocratic. So we have also to balance between this collegial and individual. Because collegial is more teamwork based, team performance, more on the working based on the team. But individual are more different. They are more, the performance are more on individualized. So the system model cover everything in order to come out is very good contribution. Okay. The majority employees seeks good remuneration, job security, a positive work environment where the action contribute to the community and its customers. So this system model is the last one, and this one consists of the combination of the autocratic, collegial, team, and individual benefit. Okay, next. Okay, class, from the 3-4 system or model in OB. So the best one is the system, the last one, because this combine all the role, all the system, and try to balance between the requirement of individual, requirement of the team, the welfare of the workers, and also the integrate with the autocratic, which is more on rule and legal. Okay, so by combining all these 4, you come up with the system. The one is more better, the betterment of the practice in organizational behavior. Okay, so goal of organizational behavior, we have no, there is a description about the level, about the people, description about the system, and then about the understanding of the people, understanding the system, predict on the assumption of the workers' attitude, predict the motivation level of employees, and so we have element of the control of the organization. Okay, next. Okay, step 1 is a step in organizational behavior. Okay, what are the steps in OB? Okay, so we have to do, sometimes we know the system, we know the organizational behavior, and then we have to understand the step in order to improve our organizational behavior. Okay, step 1 is identification of the critical behavior. Sometimes we cannot assume, we make a wrong assumption about the attitude of the person. So that's why we have to identify which area is very critical. Okay, so the first step in OB mod is modification is to identify the performance related behavior. We try to search for the problem, and then we identify what contributes to the problem. So it can be the critical behavior. Okay, wait, sorry. Hello? Ya, saya cakap. Daripada mana? Usaha. Ya. Okey. Bolehlah. Nanti saya hantar, saya nak bagi kat Ustaz Zaki ke macam mana? Tulis WhatsApp saya, nanti saya reply kat WhatsApp tu. Boleh secara live pun tak apa. Kalau boleh, kalau tak boleh kita buat rakaman lah. Tapi kita prefer live lah sebab ramai semua ada kan. Nanti saya bagi link dia nanti. Alright. Nanti WhatsApp saya. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Measurement of behavior. So in order to, sometimes when we talk about the performance, we talk about the performance of the workers or performance of the employees. Sometimes we make a very wrong measurement. Okay. So we have to step 2, we have to try to come up with very good measurement of the attitude, very good measurement of the performance. So step 2, we cannot skip this step. Okay. First, we understand the behavior, what is the critical in organization behavior, and then we set up the measurement of behavior. We come up with very good tool in measuring the behavior. Okay. Let's say before this we come up with very wrong assumption. So we have to come up with the right measurement tool in order to avoid the wrong assumption of the behavior. So the manager must know how to measure the critical element. Sometimes there is a critical, we highlight the issue as a critical, but actually it is not critical. Why we make mistake? Because of the way we measure the critical situation is wrong. We are not using the right tool to measure the critical element. So we have to make sure we have come up with a good measurement behavior. And of course, in developing the good measurement, we have to observe our previous record. Okay, we have to check. Maybe we have to redo and we have to check the definition of the score. For example, let's say the measurement is the critical is between 1 to 5. So let's say the 5 is very critical. So 1 is not critical. So if we make a wrong element, or call it the wrong measurement, so of course when we say 5, it is actually not true. Maybe the condition is only 3, only moderate. So in modification the organization behavior, we have to come up with very good measurement tool. Okay, step 3, please. Okay, step 3. Right, next. Next, Sinta. Identify and analyze the behavior consequences. We found there is a critical, let's say absenteeism as one of the critical element among our employees. So absenteeism is a critical. So we have to identify, analyze what is the consequence of this absenteeism. Okay, so we have to come up with the list of consequence of this absenteeism. Okay, for example, if there is a absenteeism rate is very high, so what happened? The productivity will down. The productivity will down because of the high absenteeism. Okay, step 4, you have to develop and apply intervention strategy. Define the critical behavior, identify the factors may cause the critical, then we have to intervene and disturb this problem, this issue, by doing what? By give a positive enforcement, or by giving a punishment. They say the absenteeism because of the attitude, because they have very bad attitude. So we have to practice punishment. Okay, or whatever decision, but it must cover and can try to avoid, try to increase or try to decrease the absenteeism. At least you want to see the result. After the behavior change has occurred in the right direction, a reinforcement schedule might maintain, and the desired behavior will be selected by the manager. So This step 1, 2, 3, 4 is about dealing with a bad behavior. Okay, how to deal with the bad behavior. First, we have to find the critical issue, the problem, and then we want to define the how to measure this critical issue. And 3, we have to identify what is the consequences of this behavior, okay, towards organization. And the last step is we try to develop the intervention strategy how to solve the problem. Okay, all right, so next slide please. Remember just now is discussed about okay, we have on the step, we call it, we have to do the evaluation. Okay, whether our step in problem solving in dealing with the organizational behavior problem are, is it efficient or not efficient? Okay, OB modification is final step is to evaluate whether the intervention strategy, maybe with our punishment, our reinforcement, is it working or not working? So this is the last step in order to evaluate the performance of our OB modification. Okay, if permanent or temporary change in behavior has occurred, if occurred, yes. If the behavior change come to the positive one, that means we can say it is very good strategy, it is very good modification, because the employees change their attitude. Okay, but if they doesn't change, if the attitude still maintain, so we have to repeat the process, step 1, step 2, step 3, 4 and 5. Okay, next Chinta. Okay, now we try to learn about the citizenship, how citizenship is very important in organizational behaviors. If we work in one company, we work in one industry, how loyal ourselves, apakah tahap kesetiaan kita terhadap organisasi. So how loyal. So this loyalty is about the citizenship. Okay, citizenship. Okay, since 1970 is defined as voluntary commitment. It is about citizenship. It refers to the discretionary or non-required contribution by members to the organization that employ them, described as all the positive and constructive employee action and behaviors that are not part of their formal job description. So this is the sense of ownership, sense of loyal towards organization. Okay, next. So how to achieve this citizenship? Okay, the 5 common type of citizenship behavior. One is altruism. Okay, altruism is defined as the desire to help otherwise assist another individual. Sense of altruism, whether want to help or not to help. Okay, or just expecting the reward. We do something extra because of the reward. Okay, that is altruism. Next, courtesy. Courtesy is defined as a behavior which is polite and considerate toward other people. Feel courtesy towards organization. Altruism towards organization. Extravert towards organization. Courtesy, friendly, honest towards organization. So that is a organizational citizenship behavior. How loyal our employees towards our organization. Either can be altruism, okay, high desire to help, or courtesy, it is only polite level of to help and consider other people. Or next slide, sportsmanship, only as a non-negative behavior, just follow, not go a plan, or when something is being perceived as annoying, difficulties, frustrating, or otherwise negative. Outside of business context, sportsmanship is most commonly associated with a sport and game. So based on this, more on the teamwork in the game. Okay, whether you want to really support, but we're not showing the whether we are not altruism or but we are just call it a light touching, just light touching on that. Okay. Okay. And next, conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is meant as a behavior that suggests a reasonable level of self-control and discipline which extend beyond the minimum requirement expected that situation. Okay, that means the way they observe the organization is like very light, like at a reasonable level, very minimum, based on the position. If I am the clerk, my contribution and my salary is 500, so my contribution is on the level of 500. It's not to altruism. Okay, it's only a reasonable level, okay, and self-control and discipline, okay, which extend beyond and the minimum requirement expected in the situation. In the context of business setting, conscientiousness is observed when an employee not only meets the employee's requirement, such as coming into work on time and completing assignment on time, but exceed them, okay. Consciousness is exceed the requirement, and the expectation of the employer, okay, such as coming in work on time and complete assignment, but exceed them, okay. But the key point here is at the reasonable level of self-control, reasonable level, okay. Extend beyond the minimum requirement expected in this session. Okay, this statement said at the level there is a minimum level, but their consciousness is more. Their conscience more. Okay, exceed the minimum, level. Okay, exceed the minimum. Okay, next. Okay, civic virtue is defined as behavior that exhibit how well a person represent an organization with which they are associated, and how well that person supports the organization outside and official community. So this one is more on the our role as a duta, as a ambassador. Our role as ambassador to represent ourselves, our company. Sorry. Okay. How well a person represent the company. Let's say I ask you, Rockima. Okay, Rockima. Where you study, Rockima? So Rockima said I study at UNY. Okay, so what Rockima try to explain is about how Rockima associate with UNY, and how well, and then how well the Rockima will explain about UNY. If Rockima say UNY is very good, okay, have an external lecturer, have a visiting professor. So that means Rockima talk the good thing about UNY. So the Rockima role here is like civic virtue. Okay, that means Rockima try to sell the good thing about UNY. Okay, UNY, Universiti Negeri Yogyakarta. Okay, next slide. Okay, what is the determinant of behavior? Okay, what factors contribute this behavior? One is the belief. Okay, the belief is what we call it the psychological foundation and internal feeling that something is true, even though it is unproved and irrational. Okay, belief. When you believe something, so that is that is the part of organizational behavior. Okay, belief provide a big impact on individual behavior. Kepercayaan seseorang. Okay, so kepercayaan seseorang itu adalah akan memberi kesan kepada sesuatu behavior yang diamalkan oleh organisasi. Dia punya tahap belief, kepercayaan. Okay, jika dirasakan syarikat ini, company is very good, terkenal, maka belief itulah yang akan menjadi culture dalam budaya dalam organisasi tersebut. So what is the belief? What we believe about the strength, about the strong, about the popularity, about the future, about the survival of the company. So that is what we believe. Okay, the belief affect the organizational behavior. Okay, number 2 is attitude. Okay, attitude is about the attitude of the workers. Okay, we have negative attitude, positive attitude. So this one also can determine the organizational behavior. Okay, next. Value. How we value the organization. Okay, they have both content and attribute. The content attribute say the mode of content is important. Individual hierarchy of value form the value system. System is identified by considering the relative importance, assigning the values such as freedom, pleasure, self-respect, honesty, equality. So this create the value. How the person, the workers value the organization. Okay, sekiranya kita menghormati organisasi, maka kita akan bekerja dengan baik, akan terdorong motivasi yang tinggi untuk bekerja dengan baik. Okay, so that is the value. If we don't trust the company, of course we never feel proud of the company. So if we keep a higher value, we'll feel proud. Kita merasa bangga terhadap company. Yeah, if we put very low value towards our organization, we keep very we are not very loyal towards this organization. Tidak begitu setia pada syarikat tersebut. Okay, it depends how we value the organization. Okay, next. So it's look like finished the syllabus. Okay, this is as I mentioned to you at the beginning of this class. This organization behavior is something about the psychology, about the situation, about the feeling, about the trust, the belief of employees towards the organization. Okay, so that is the behavior about, and there are so many factors might contribute to the behavior. Okay, can be the culture. Okay, the culture of this organization. So what is the normal practice of organization, and the character of the leadership, the leader's character. Okay, just now I also highlight the 4 characteristic of leadership. Okay, can be very autocratic, can be very laissez-faire, can be more flexible, can be more bottom orientation, can be more negotiation. Okay, so all this cover the behavior. So we have to understand the organization behavior. So this OB can help the managing our company, our industry, our organization, can help managing our human resource, can help managing our union, workers union, and can deal with the environment. We have political environment, we have state country committee, we have Datuk Bandar, we have the governance, we have legal, we have a police department, we have custom department, we have immigration department. So all this considered as the work environment that affect our organizational behavior. Okay, so with that, I can let you to ask any question. Have any question we can discuss now?
Any questions, student? Silakan yang mau pertama, yang mau. Ada Hansa Tarita. Silakan untuk menyampaikan pertanyaannya.
Okay, silakan.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity you gave me. It was explained earlier that OB helps managers to motivate their employees, bringing good organizational performance, automatically leading to job satisfaction. And my question is, how to measure the level of job satisfaction?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, there is another chapters more detail. If you took this level, you call it performance management. Okay, performance management. So when we talk about performance management, there are so many measurement tool to measure the performance. Okay, one is maybe we have a questionnaire to measure motivation, a questionnaire to measure job satisfaction. Okay, there is a list of questionnaire. Okay, so we can measure this situation. Maybe we can ask the employees, the individual, about we can check the speed of the task, the speed of the completing the task. Okay, so we can say that if they can complete the task in the faster, maybe more faster they complete the task, that means they are in the very good satisfaction. Okay, and number 2 can be the attitude. If the employees feel happy when they come to work with the happy condition, so we have to measure the happiness. Maybe we can distribute the 5 questionnaire. We can form a Google form, a questionnaire form, to ask them about the level of happiness. Okay, adakah anda suka datang awal ke kantor? Okay, adakah saya gemar datang ke kantor? Saya menyiapkan kerja saya dengan pantas. Saya merasa sedih jika tidak dapat bekerja. Okay. So this questionnaire is item of questionnaire. Then we develop a 5 Likert scale. 5 Likert scale. Okay. Setuju, tidak setuju. Sangat setuju. Agree, not agree, disagree. So if if they answer degree, agree for the statement, that means we can say, oh, this student, their level is very good. The level of satisfaction is very high. But if the answer is showing that they are not happy, they don't like to come to work, they always absent their work, so that means we can say the level of satisfaction is very low. Okay, so we can measure the satisfaction by creating a data, a questionnaire, then distribute to the workers, and we check what is the answer. Okay, is it okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
sir.
Kansa. Next, Talita.
Thank you for the opportunity. Before that, I'm sorry I can't activating the camera because my connection is unstable. Let me introduce
Okay.
myself. My name is Talita Marsha. I want to ask you what is difference between autocratic model and system model. Thank you.
What is the difference between?
Autocratic model and system model.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Talita. Okay. Okay. As I mentioned to you, I talk about autocratic. Autocratic behavior, that means the leader in this organization, they are too tied to the rule and guidance, rule and peraturan and undang-undang. They are not, they are too tied to the peraturan. Okay, so they are strict, so they are practicing a bureaucracy. I mean, everybody must follow the SOP, must follow the standard operating procedure. Okay, no delay. You have to really look at this guideline. Okay, always look at the guideline. Whatever decision, whatever uh, instruction, must follow the guideline. We call it the guideline book or SOP book. Okay, but in the system one, this one is the very good one. Is the new one, the new style of practice, whereby it's combination of the flexible method of referring in decision making made by the manager. They are more flexible. It can be more more harmonized, more better work environment. Okay, so they are more better situation compared to the autocratic one. Okay, not much different, but of course it is more flexible. Okay, for system one more flexible. All right. Okay, thank you. Any more question?
Any more questions, student? Ada yang mau
Yes,
tanya
dia.
lagi dari teman-teman?
Dia, any question dia?
Okay, dia.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to ask, in the PowerPoint, there are 5 models, organizational behavior. Those are autocratic model, custodial model, supportive model, collegial model, and system model.
All right.
Of the 5 models, which one do you think is the most appropriate to apply, sir?
Okay, thank you, dia. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, from my opinion, okay, the decision to apply which model depend on sometime on the age of the organization, or maybe the orientation of organization, maybe the marketing and the customer of organization. Okay, if our company is new, and we receive many orders from our customer, okay, of course we have a very strict shipment schedule. We have very strict shipment schedule and high customer demand. okay, high customer demand for our product. So in this case, our operation is very critical. Our operation is very critical. So in this case, the manager have to be very strict. Okay, the manager mesti harus betul-betul menggunakan kuasanya, authority. Okay, untuk memastikan to ensure all the workers, employees follow, mengikut peraturan. Okay, that is the situation A, whereby we are in the critical type of business. But if our business is like is a service business, it's like government organization business, like education business. Okay, so we cannot practice very autocratic system, because you have to be more friendly to our customer, to the student. Okay, let's say we are in the university, so we have to be friend to the student, and in this case we must be more flexible. Okay, there are also type of business like insurance. So insurance mean our operation is more based, our performance are more based on the teamwork. So this one we choose the custodial type of system which are better, or sometimes we can use the large system which are more better in that situation. So in the short, the answer is based on the type of business, based on how critical our business and organization. Okay, so based on that, we can implement any approaches that are more relevant to our business and our organization. Okay, is it okay, Dia?
Okay, so the model used must be in accordance with the organization, sir?
Yes, accordant and in line to the our
Situation
situation.
organization.
Yes,
Right.
our situation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Yeah, any more question?
And then Putri
Yes,
Afifah, please.
yes, silakan Putri.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I want to ask about how does efficiency analysis work in influencing the study of organizational behavior?
Okay. You want to ask about the personality test? Again? Can you repeat?
How does efficiency analysis work in influencing the study of organizational behavior?
Okay. Okay. We have many ways to set our efficiency of our organization. Okay. So how to measure? Okay. Why important? Because you want to know the situation. It depends on the unit and department in our organization. If our department is more on the production department, of course the measurement of efficiency is different to the administrative side of operation. Okay, for operation administrative department, maybe the job is only clerical job, only documentation. Okay, so the level of measurement or efficiency test is easier and simple. But for production department, of course, the efficiency measurement test is different. Maybe it's depend on the cost, depend on the quality of material, depend on the quality of product, the quantity of product, the time producing the product. So it's more detailed. It's more detailed. So the most important thing that we have to understand is the efficiency analysis is very important. And there are special analysis, special tests that we are going to adopt. It depends on the activities, what activities we are going to check. Okay, so for manufacturing, for production, we have to more really refer to the, in general, we have to refer to the specific measurement and specific efficiency tool that we can use. They are more deeper, that we cannot say. But in general, we can use a different efficiency test for different department. Okay. For admin, maybe different skill, different tool. For manufacturing, different. For marketing, different. So they are not. We cannot use the similar one. It depends on the our department itself. Okay. So manufacturing, production, we have to more consider the time, consider the numbers of output, how many employees, the head count. So it's more on the activity based efficiency test. Okay, but in administration side, maybe they are different. Okay, okay, Putri, is it okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, any more?
Leah, in next question, please.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you for the time. My question is how to approach organizational behavior change, because we know that organizational behavior, the study and application of knowledge about how people relate in organization and social system, as explained by Mr. Sham before. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this the changes and the adoption or the modification of this OB is very unique. It is very unique. Okay. That's why we have to first we have to understand, is it the problem is it the most critical problem? Okay. In order to start the modification about this changing, so we have to understand the situation, how critical this situation. So if we found one critical problem in that issue, so then only we focus on that. Okay, so we have to choose, maybe we have to really in-depth search, investigate if the problem caused by the individual. So we have to study what is this, who is this individual, what is his level of knowledge, for example. Okay, so when we study this criteria, okay, then only we can come up with the suggestion of improvement with another knowledge that this individual don't have, that this individual weaknesses in what area. So when there is we found there is a weaknesses in any area that affect the attitude or behavior of this person, so we have to come up with a good suggestion to improve the weaknesses area that this individual have. So it's very unique, it's very critical. So the white paper, I mean the investigation paper, to improve this, to change the behavior system, is must be more based on individual capacity, more based on individual capacity, and can be not, we cannot generalize, but the procedure can be generalized to all, but the method may be different based on the individual capacity. Okay, the level of knowledge, maybe consider the environmental, the family, the background of this manager, the qualifications, and the knowledge about technology, the knowledge about human, the knowledge about job or whatever. So we have many criteria in dealing with critical problem regarding to the OB adoption or OB modification. Okay, sometimes some company, they invite the consultant, they invite special consultant to deal with this behavior modification. Okay, in our action, maybe it involve the punishment, involve reinforcement. So we have to refer back to the system. Maybe some person, sometimes we have to use the autocratic. Sometimes we have to use more flexible. Okay, a more general type of system. So it depends. Okay. So it is a relationship between the problem, modification, the system. So we have to make use all the OB theory in order to solve the problem and the issues and modify our organization behavior, critical issues. Okay, Dahlia. So we have Dahlia
Okay,
and we have
sure.
Dia. This one. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Any more questions, student?
Yes.
Sorry, sir, my camera inactive because now it's bad.
Okay.
Any questions, student, to Dr. Samsudin about behavioral organization? Okay, Heni Setyaningsih, please.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
System model is the most contemporary form. So, what are the difficulties in implementing the system model? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. In order to implement the model, okay. First, we have to understand really understand many elements in OB. We have to understand the level of motivation of our workers. We have to understand the culture of our our organization. So by understanding this basic structure of our organization behavior practice, then only we choose, we can identify what is the problem and what is the most critical problem to solve, and any modification needs in the system. So all our everything we can do, but we have to understand what is uh, the current situation. We have to come up with the organization behavior. We call it. We have to come up with the OB level of achievement or performance. So we have to understand all. Maybe we can come up with the, we call it the SWOT analysis. What is the strength of motivation? Our motivation is the strength or not? Okay. And then the culture, how strong the culture is. If everything is in the good condition, our motivation level is very high, the culture practice is very good, the behavior of employees is in a good condition, the behavior of management, the system of OB is in the good condition, then only we can say that our no need for us to find the to come up with changes or modification in our OB system. So we have to study. You have to study the OB situation in our company. Okay, then only we can come up. We can make assumption. We can suggest for the improvement. But if all the four elements, the culture, the value, the belief, all in the motivation, all there's no fault and no problem with that. So that means our OB is very good and can support the achievement and can move forward our direction to achieve the vision and mission of the company. Okay, so we have to make a brief study about the condition. Okay, is it okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Any more
Yeah, any
questions?
more?
Or is it enough, student? For Crowley? Clearly. Okay. I think enough for today, Dr. Samsudin. Thank you for class today. Thank you for the knowledge have you share in this class. And
Okay, welcome.
we meeting again in next week. Okay, see you next week, Dr. Samsudin.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, welcome. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Enjoy your study.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Salam.